Mark has quite carefully structured the middle section of his Gospel account to stress both Jesus' identity as the Messiah who must suffer and die, and the disciples' failure to grasp this reality. Peter's confession of faith in Jesus as Messiah and his refusal to connect that identity with Jesus' impending passion marks the beginning of his threefold section. In each part, Jesus first announces his coming suffering and death. Then the disciples give evidence that they cannot or do not wish to understand his message. Finally, Jesus attempts to further instruct the uncomprehending disciples. This Sunday's Gospel follows immediately upon last Sunday's reading, which ended with Jesus' admonition to allow God to act as God chooses in sending Messiah, who appears not as mighty king, but as lowly servant. The disciples soon demonstrate that they would still rather dictate to God, deciding who should and should not serve as a channel of God's power in overcoming evil. Mark follows with the collection of teachings with no discernible unifying theme. Many are sayings that appear in various contexts in Matthew and Luke. Several sayings gathered here seem to present God's inclusiveness as a model to be followed. The evangelist then adds several sayings. The first cautions against causing others to sin, and the rest vividly illustrate that disciples must surrender anything that might cause them to sin. Jesus uses a common mode of instruction, the wise saying or proverb. The proverbs here do not literally call for amputation. They are concrete examples of a larger principle. Anything that might cause the disciple to sin, however indispensable it might seem, must be renounced. Jesus' major teaching, however, focuses on avoidance of all that might lead to sin.